Hey guys, it's Rachel from The Little Ring Lamb, and today I have a book review on The Identicals by Elin Hilderbrand, and this is her new June release of this year. And basically, if I'm looking down or over, I'm looking at my notebook, and also this will be a spoiler-free review. And if you're new to my videos or just need a fresh eye, I rate my books in 5 different categories: plot, characters, cover, suspense, and overall in terms of reading. And very soon, 5 out of 5, not so soon, 1 out of 5. So basically, this book is about twin sisters. This is really dusty because I just sat on a dusty shelf. Harper and Tabitha, and basically they don't really get along. They haven't really talked in years, and a tragedy brings them back together again within their family. And basically, with that, they decide to switch islands and switch lives for a while, and they see how their lives intersect, and they really learn to grasp with family and all their issues surrounding that, and what really family means to them personally after being kind of away from their family unit for years and stuff like that. So I hope that is a subpar summary of the book. That's the word I'm looking for. But anyway, I'm going to get into the review. Supply gave a 3 out of 5. I thought it was a very slow start, and then the ending was very abrupt. Like, I'm very confused about I forget her name, and why am I forgetting the daughter's name? Ainsley, I think? I'm a great book reviewer, I just got all these names down pat. I just saw it. Ainsley, yeah, Ainsley. Need to look through that. Basically, I found her ending. I was a little confused by that. I really wanted to know what was going to happen with Harper. And Tabitha, I felt like the ending was very fast. Like, I could have used an extra 20 pages just to know where the characters were going. Because the epilogue was in the dog whose name is Fish is perspective. And I would have really liked to know where they got. Like, I figured, like, you can kind of, in your head get to where they're going, but I would have liked, confirmation on that. And yeah, I wanted a little more to the end because the beginning was so slow. But I really liked the middle. It got me very gripped. This is not my favorite book of hers. It's right down the middle. It's not the worst book I've read by her, but it's not one of my favorites. I was really interested in this concept, and I thought the concept was very good, but it also might have been the characters I wasn't a big fan of, which didn't help with the concept. For the characters speaking of that, I gave them a 3 out of 5 because I liked them later on in the novel because they had a lot of character growth and progression, which is something I absolutely adore. But at the beginning, I just did not like either of the sisters. I know you're probably supposed to relate to one or the other. Like, Tabitha's the more uptight sister, and Harper's the more, like, free-spirited sister. And I know you're supposed to connect to one of them, but I couldn't connect to either one of them. And then Ainsley, the daughter, who's a teenage part, she was very reckless and kind of like a bad, I don't want to say like a bad girl to stereotype, but we're just going to stereotype for now. Like, was not like a good apple, and I couldn't relate to her either. So sometimes when I can't relate to characters and it's a slow start, it does not help me get into it. But I like the characters by the end. That's why I gave them a 3.5 or 3 out of 5. And I really liked all the side characters. I really had no complaints. I thought the side characters were really good. It was the main characters that were annoying me a bit at the first part, but that's because they had a lot of issues to work through. So once they got their issues worked through, or getting them worked through, they kind of grew on me. Cover, I give a 4 out of 5. I really enjoy this cover. I really like just having the blue spine because it just like reminds me of summer, and also Elin Hilderbrand books come out, every June or so. Well, since I've been reading them, and that's another thing that reminds me of summer. But I really like the cover. I really love how I like how a lot of her covers you can't see the people's face, so you can kind of make your own interpretation how they're going to look, because even though she does give descriptions, obviously character like profile descriptions, sometimes like your brain will think of something else. Suspense, I give it 3.5 out of 5. This book picked up definitely near the end, but it had a slow start and abrupt ending. But in the middle, it was so good, and I was so gripped and engrossed, and I was like, this is why I love Elin Hilderbrand's writing. Like, she knows how to weave a good story. This one didn't necessarily, hit it out of the park, but it, definitely, like, got my attention. I don't know where that analogy was going. And overall, I give this book a 3 out of 5. I definitely read this book again. But it's not one of my first choices to read from her, like, her list of, what is it called? I was going to say filmography. But it's not one of the ones I gravitate towards. I'd rather reread another one of her books, but this is not one of those. This is one of those ones I'll probably reread in the future. And I couldn't see me not, because I would love to reread all her books in the future, because I absolutely adore this author, and I'll be reading more books by her for sure. This one just didn't, necessarily hit the mark, but I still think it's a really good book. And if you're like me and you read all her other, well, I haven't read all of her other books, but I've read like 80% of her books. If you read most of her books and you're a fan, I'd still pick this one up. But yeah, it was just okay for me. But I want to do this review because I want to talk about this because I really love Elin Hilderbrand's books, and I think this one was just an okay, but I really love like almost all of her books. Like it's, yeah, very obsessed. And yeah, well, thank you so much for watching. Definitely let me know if you've read this book before. I hope this book review is not too muddled, because my thoughts are all over the place today. Of course, the day I choose to film. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.